Hey, everybody, Peter Vexelman with Partner Driven Real Estate Investing. And the other side, I have the great Billy and Tracy Mittlin. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Good, good, good. All right. I know we got our first deal going on. What's the address and what's our numbers?
608 Briar Oak is the address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Numbers we purchased for, I believe, 74.9. Reno budget, we're looking at probably around 36. And we're looking at listing it to make it go pretty quick at about 189.9.
I know who I'm going to be calling now, Billy. I ain't calling you no more. I'm calling Tracy from now on. That's the
Right.
deal.
He finds it and then I do the numbers.
I love it. I love it. All right. Tell us a little bit about your background as it relates to real estate before us.
Me personally, I started doing property management on that side of things. We've had our own construction company for several years now. And BJ had started doing a lot of inspection notices, things like that for real estate agents in our market. We're near a military base, and it's just saturated with real estate. People coming and going all the time, buying, renting. And believe it or not, there are houses just sitting everywhere that, for whatever reason, whether it's the military that's actually just left them because they didn't really have good guidance as to what to do with them, or whether it's the older generation that obviously has just gotten older and has just doesn't have family around or something like that. Because there's a lot of retired military here who actually they just don't have anything else to do with it. And so we saw a lot of that just through what we were doing. He was fixing them up for other people. I was trying to get him ready, hiring him to come in and fix them up so I could get them rented or sold. And we felt that it was ridiculous to do that for other people.
It always amazes me how hard people will work their whole lives, by the way, to make other people's dreams come true.
Absolutely.
And when then they have the chance to turn the table and do it for themselves, and how many people give up on their dreams? I tell people, like, you never give up on your boss's dreams. You never give up on your customers' dreams, but so many people give up on theirs.
That's what it was. Like I said, he came to me in 2000. I was pregnant with twins in 2016, and he said, I am tired of making other people rich. He said, I'm tired of it. He said, I think we just need to just pray about it. And I think we just need to go out on our own and try to do it for ourselves. And so I said, on November 4th, a month before our twins are supposed to be born, sure, why not? Let's do it. And
good time.
Yeah. And luckily, though, by that point, he had a good enough name and reputation that he had several. He was working, not only was he working daytime for somebody else, but then, of course, evenings and weekends for himself. It was a pretty easy transition. But even since then, we've gotten into real estate and doing a lot of stuff for other people. And so it's probably time we start diving in and trying to do a few things for ourselves, because we know the process at this point.
Yeah, that's for sure. So talk a little bit about this specific deal, like how we found it and how it got us to the point we're at.
I went in the house probably 6 years ago and pulled the carpet out of it for a real estate agent that I still do work for, and nothing ever come of it. We were going to remodel it and all this. I got a bid together, and we went by the house probably 6 months ago. My little boy's baseball coach lives right next door to it, and they're set the house still vacant. So I just looked, found the owner, and we partnered with you guys first.
And then we did use the deal-driven app. We actually found his phone number. We had his address and stuff, but of course that's not public record all the time. So I do think we use the deal-driven app to be able to access his contact info.
Yeah, and just called him and left him a voicemail, said, hey, by chance, if you're the guy that owns the house at Briar Oak, I'd like to buy it. 2 days later, he called me back and said, I'd love for you to buy it.
Yeah. And he was kind of a typical person that we found. He was actually getting ready to retire military, but he was still military. The house had a renter in it at one point. They did some damage. They left a water hose hooked up to the outside spigot, and the water was on. And it flooded the house. Of course, they left. He's somewhere else, different state, and he just simply didn't have money to address what needed to be done to get it on the market. But he couldn't let it go back because he had security clearance and he was on a VA loan. he just sat paid the payment and his life just set. He had kind of forgotten about it, honestly. I was any type of payments. So
I love it. I love it. If you were just isolate this piece that we put up the money, buy it, fix it, whatever goes on. How does that make you feel as a partner that you don't have to, there's other things we have to worry about as partners, but the fact that you don't have to worry about the financial side, the buying it, fixing it, carrying it, taxes, whatever. Talk a little bit about that piece. How does that feel to you as a partner?
being the money gal that worries about that stuff, it's nice. It's nice to say, hey, let's work together. We think this is a good deal, and having to step back because I do know what you guys have to do on the other side because I've done it for somebody else. You know, so I'm well aware of the work that goes in behind the scenes, and it is nice not to have to do that.
That's for sure. You know, it seems, and especially Billy, when you're talking, have we had any challenges on this deal at all? Or is it smooth sailing up to all the way through now?
No, it went pretty good. I talked to Julie yesterday, and she said that we had to switch lenders because the original one didn't loan on rural properties.
Yeah.
But switched, and she said she'll have a closing date tomorrow morning for me.
Yeah.
So that was just a minor, nothing new. Just went pretty smooth, really.
If that's the biggest challenge we have on deals, let's celebrate those kind of challenges. That is
for sure.
No, since we got it going, like I said, I'll say at the beginning because I was doing the contract part, we were a little slow starting, getting the contract and stuff like that. But I think our issue though was that we knew what the process should be. We weren't the typical person coming in, the person that said, okay, I want to try this, but I don't know much about it. And so partly that was me saying this should be rolling. Like we gotta go. Because there's a lot of people like us. There's a lot of investors in this area for this exact purpose. And so we know that if we don't move quickly, that Bob, Julie, and any of the guys, it's been great. It's been fun.
He got us one listed. It's gonna be listed in the morning. Another property.
That's awesome. That
yeah, and it's one we don't really have to fix. We're just turning around and selling it.
By the way, before I forget, when we're done, I need you to text Julie. You look just like Julie's husband, like
I describe, if anybody ever says, what does your husband look like? I always say he looks like the long lost Duck Dynasty brother. And he's been painting because usually he's got paint.
I see that. I see it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, final exit question. I know we're getting this one done. We're ready to do a bunch of more deals.
We've got 4 or 5 other properties that I was in the next week or so. I think we'll have
2 for sure.
I'm going to challenge you with that. Okay. Let's go get it done. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right,
thank you. Have a good evening.